Hello and welcome to Tech and More. So today I have a question for you. Are you a budding developer or are you a budding test automation engineer, or for that matter, are you learning the concepts of software engineering to build your career in the same? If yes, this video is for you. Today we are going to talk about version controlling as a concept, the need behind it, why was it introduced, the tools that you require to know for version controlling, and which tools to select for the same, right? So without wasting any more time, let's start. First of all, understanding the need for version controlling. So I genuinely believe that in order to understand a technology or a probable solution, you first have to understand the problem to get the gist better, right? So we are going to do the same here. First one is, imagine a team of three are developing a website feature at the same time. That is, let's suppose there is a project wherein three folks are working. Now on the login page, the login function for the login functionality, basically, the first chap was working on the forgot password feature, and the other one was working on the credentials feature, right? And let's have a look at the scenario in real as well. So this is the normal credentials feature. The other is when you click on forgot password, you'll have the username field, right? So these two people are working on these two login related functionalities. Now, if you have a look at it, you will realize that the username field is somewhere common between the two scenarios, right? So now they are able to do their changes, develop things and all. And at the end of the day, they want to log out of the systems, go back to their homes. But of course, they want to merge their changes because the collective thing has to be pushed on the website. Now they're puzzled because both the folks were using the same username field or the same field, and they might have made some changes at their own level. So might be there are some conflicts. Now, one solution is that you can do these things manually, but of course, imagine the volume is a lot. There are a lot of components which might get changed to each other, impacted by each other. Then doing it manually is a big task. So then version controlling comes into the picture, which will help you figure out all these process of pushing your recent changes in the entire team, seeing if there are any conflicts with each other, getting the latest code, seeing whether what got deleted, what particular history happened. All these things are handled by version controlling. Now, one more example for you before we actually go ahead and proceed. So imagine that you have a Google Doc or a spreadsheet or a Google document. Now you are writing an article in Google document, for example. Let's stick with that. Now there are multiple folks working on the article, right? And there are two or three people, and they have been assigned different sections of the article to write upon. Now, if they blindly go ahead and if they simply paste their paragraphs in the article, will it make sense? Because might be the point which is for introduction, might be it gets shifted above, right? So all these things, when tackled correctly, that is when the order is figured out correctly, the changes which are being done are taken in an orderly manner. And if you know, using Google Docs and Words, you can also always see the history. You can see who made changes, who commented. So all these things also come under the concept of version control, right? So you have to understand one thing, that version control is not only specific to coding or programming in general. It is basically a concept which helps you, if a team is working on multiple things at one time, then to maintain I would say, the changes or all the things in an harmony, in an organized manner, that is where version controlling comes into the picture. Cool. Now, some features of version controlling is, as we've already discussed, but I'm going to quickly go through them once. Number one, it compares the earlier version of the code. As I told you, that it will be able to track the history. It will be able to track the modifications that are made to the code. So if anybody comes in and just makes some random changes, you'll be able to tackle them as well. You'll be able to see who did what. Then third is that manages and protects code. This is very important because in the project, not everybody will have access to that particular project. The folks that you only wish to add to will be added. Then last is fully distributed. Of course, when you have multiple folks working in a team, and when they push their changes or when they send their changes to the master, or wherein everything is kept, every folk will be able to take up latest release or the latest pull, as we call in Git terms, from that particular place wherever all the code is hosted. Cool. Now, There are different version controlling tools in the market. As you can see, there are top 10 and you have these images. But trust me, the most widely used one is Git. And we are going to learn the same. Cool. So first of all, let's have a look at why Git. See, it's widely used. It has a strong community, distributed version control, speed and performance, flexibility, all these things. But honestly, trust me, these features are being provided by all other version controlling systems as well. It is just that Git has been in the existence for a long, long time. A lot of organizations are using it. So the more widely used it is, the more famous it is. So that's why we learn Git. On in all honesty. Okay. Then what is GitHub? Right? So GitHub, before I tell you the exact technical definition, in the second line, if you read, it says it acts like a cloud-based storage for project code, which can be accessed and modified by all in the project. I forgot to add that in the team rather, right? So a person who has some technical knowledge watching this video might question me that, what are you saying? I mean, how is it a cloud-based, or rather, what I call it is basically a drive, a sort of a Google Drive storage, right? You might question that this is an amateur definition. I know it is an amateur definition, but people who are new to this concept might find a little bit difficult to understand. Even I did. So it's important to know that to understand the concept, first let's have a look at something which we already know, right? So similar to how you have Google Drive, wherein you can host all your files when you're working in a team. Let's suppose you're working with a graphic designer. So different designers upload their different files pertaining to a particular project. It is similar. So GitHub is basically a cloud-based storage, is a storage wherein all the team members can push their changes of the code, take the latest changes from the cloud, uh, keep a track of what happened, keep a track of what not happened, keep a track of who did what, all these things. So basically, wherein all your project is hosted, where all the team members can send their changes to and access from there, is basically what makes GitHub. On my screen right now, you have GitHub, wherein if you see, let me go ahead and navigate to the project one more time. So do you see these different files similar to Eclipse? So I had a project, and in the previous videos, I have been showing some test automation scripts as well. So do you see this is the main project folder. Then you have subfolders in it. Then you have these Java files and all these things. Then you have pom.xml. So all these files that make a project, I've pushed them to GitHub, right? And now if next time if someone makes changes and the other one makes changes, all they can do is they can push their changes from the local machine that is on the Eclipse, and they can push it to GitHub Cloud, right? So, and the approver, the person who's approving and reviewing all these requests, will have a look at it. And if he or she feels that this is the good, I mean, this code is right and there are no conflicts or anything, they approve it. And then whatever you have sent from your local system will get merged with this, and the second, third, or fourth, or fifth person who's going to access will have your changes as well, right? So basically, the master, the place wherein all your code, all your changes tracking, all your modifications, everything is there. That is what GitHub is, right? Cool. Then you have SourceTree. It's a desktop client that provides a GUI for working with Git repositories that saves you from playing around with tricky commands like push, pull, merge, etc. Now, let me tell you one thing. When I said that you can send your code from your local machine, that is from Eclipse, these changes that you made to GitHub, how do you do it? You might question that, okay, you said that we can do it, but how can we do it? We have to do it using somewhere we call it as terminal, right? So you have to give your commands here. That is, I mean, all these commands are to be given here, which can be git push, sorry, git merge. Just ignore these syntactical thing for now. I'm just saying. So all these things when happen, that is when you'll be able to send your changes from your local machine to the cloud or to GitHub. We'll not call it cloud now. We'll just call it GitHub, right? So you might say that, okay, that sounds easy, but it's not. So in earlier days when computers were just introduced, even for performing simple actions, that is opening a file or maybe copying something, you had to use commands, right? And that is when Apple came up with GUIs, that is point and click methods to do your operations. Same is the case with SourceTree. That is the commands, that is the Git commands which you see on the screen right now. These can be very, very daunting, very, very, just to perform simple things, you'll have to do you'll have to send a lot of commands, right? So understand one thing, that SourceTree basically will do all these things for you by just simply clicking on a button, by just simply knowing that what button does what. You need not use any commands. That is what SourceTree is for you, right? And SourceTree looks something like this. So you have pull, that is take the latest, receive the latest code from GitHub. Push, that is send your changes. Then you have fetch, branch, merge. Of course, all these are different operations. This is something that I'm going to discuss maybe in upcoming videos. But for now, just understand that this is the concept of SourceTree. This is the help that SourceTree will give you, right? Cool. I hope that you have understood the basic concept behind version control, the tools which are required for version controlling, and which tool is the best. And most importantly, is that you have understood that what are the different features of version control, which is very, very important, right? So again, I hope that this video was helpful, and yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you.